Let's take a look at how you configure components within the component pack. So after you install the application, you'll find it available under the app menu in Forcivity Component Pack for Lightning. As I pick that, I end up on the main component pack page. So there's some quick call to actions here. You'll also see the help and support area. It has some videos about how to get started. You'll see links to the quick start guide, release notes, if you need support for the product, and also a link to our blog. We'll talk about the new button in just a minute. Then you'll also see that there's a section here with all your components. So you can pick any component and you can open up an existing component for editing. I'm going to filter, so let's just say I just want the buttons. And maybe I want to edit this contact support button. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. And you see it jumps right to the configure section, even though the component information, again, this is all predefined when you first create the product. So we jump right to the configure menu. This section will differ for every component. You're going to find nice descriptive text above. You'll see all the fields. You'll see helper text for each one of the items. And as I change things, you're going to see that what you see is what you get over here on the right side. It's showing all the padding and border. If you don't want to see that, you can actually say, go ahead and hide that. Otherwise, you'll see the padding and border that's around it. So if I want to change things like the URL target, the target, I can easily change that. I can add icons in here. And again, just all fully configurable. Again, when I'm done with configuring a section, I'm going to move on to the formatting section. I can do that in two ways. I can click up here in the path, or I can click next. When you're in the formatting section, you're going to find a lot of options. We give you complete control over what that object looks like. So that component is going to look and feel how you want to actually see it. So like in this case, I might want that button measured in, maybe I want it in pixels instead. And maybe I only want that to be like 275 pixels wide. Button radius, I can change that. If I wanted a full round, just go ahead, drag it all the way to the right side. You can go from no radius to, again, something that looks more like most of the buttons inside of Salesforce. If you want the buttons to appear as text, again, lots of options. So when you're defining a component, just take a little bit of time to read. You'll see they're all very easy to understand. And if I select it, you're going to see the change right away, so you don't have to wonder what happens. Down here in the formatting area is the margin and padding. So if I just want to put a little more padding on that, I can say that maybe just add that. You can see it shows the margin and the padding around it. We also give you the option of adding additional CSS class. So if what we have is not sufficient as far as control, you can go and inspect the CSS, go ahead and make a specific class for that button, and then reference that class here. The advantage to that is if there's any other Lightning components that use that same class, which there most likely is, you won't be overwriting that CSS. And then I'm going to go just talk about display. So let's just say I wanted this button to start display on Friday, and a week from Friday, I want it to turn off on the 24th. So when I drop this component in the page, it actually won't show until the 17th of January in this case, and it'll turn off automatically. So if you have a component where it has limited life, you don't have to remember to take it off. You can actually just hide that. When I'm all done, I just remember to click save, and I'm all set. So when I click save, it's going to say, yep, the changes are published immediately. So when I'm making my changes, I'll make those usually in the sandbox and then copy the configurations up. And that is how, and if I'm just going through on a new one, that's how we edit an existing one. If I have a brand new component, let's just say I want to do an alert. I just want to call this test alert. I can add a description, but once you set the configuration name and API name, and the type. Once you save that, these three items can't be changed. I go through the same thing. Again, configure it, format it if needed, set the display date, and save it. And that is how to configure components within the component pack.